Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. Mine's going good, except, man, we are hot. All last week, we were like between 105 and 111. And then today is going to be 111 along with the rest of this week all the way till Friday. So hopefully this is our last big heat wave, because I'll tell you what, it's been a scorcher. So listen, I want to talk to you today about money, and mainly a scripture in Matthew 21:12-13. This is what it says. And Jesus went into the temple of God and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves, and said unto them, It is written, My house shall be called a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves. People, the same thing that was going on back then is going on today in all of our major churches. I remember being in a church where just outside the main sanctuary where you walked out, someone that sold beef jerky had a beef jerky stand set up. And they were selling all kinds of stuff like that. Same exact thing that was going on in Jesus' day. You know, most of our mega churches today, and let's just take one, Kenneth Copeland, and I'm going to put a clip in right about here about Kenneth Copeland.
Okay, no, yeah. And the guy sitting over there saying, what the hell does he think he's doing? You can't do that.
You can't do that.
No. This is so important. And those of you that are just now coming into these things, in the first place, Jesse and I and others, Keith Moore and Creflo and all of us, the world is in such a shape, we can't get there without this.
That's right.
We've got to have this. We would have, the mess that the airlines are in today, I would have to stop. I'm being very conservative. At least 75 to 80, more like 90% of what we're doing, because you can't get there from here.
It's impossible.
So and this was such a good illustration. I just, the Lord impressed me. That's why we're on that airplane. We can talk to God.
Glory to God.
It's true. It's when I was flying for Oral Roberts, the Brother Deweese, my boss on the airplane, he said, "Now, Kenneth, this is sanctuary. It protects the anointing on Brother Roberts." And he said, "You keep your mouth shut. Don't talk to him unless he talks, because when he's on a meeting, he doesn't talk to anybody but God." Now, Oral used to fly airlines,
right?
But even back there then, man, it got to the place where it was agitating his spirit.
Sure.
People coming up to him. He had become famous, and they wanting him to pray for him and all that. You can't manage that today.
Right.
This dope-filled world.
Right.
And get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
Right. That's exactly the
And
point.
it's deadly.
And he works on you hard. It really does.
So anyway, I wanted to make that clear so the devil can't lie to you and say, "See there, them preachers spending all that money, just fat cats riding around." No, we're not. We're in business to do. Listen.
So listen, this guy lives on an estate that's bigger than what Bill Gates would own. I mean, it's huge. I don't even know how big the building is, but it's ginormous. He has his own private runway. I think he has 2 or 3 Lear jets. And I mean, the guy just lives above and beyond anything that's imaginable. And he's not the only one. All of Joyce Meyer's, all these great big televangelists, they all live in multi-million-dollar mansions. And look at what this guy says about having to fly commercial. He doesn't want to get into a tube with all these demons. But that's their entire goal. Their goal is not to preach the gospel. Their goal is to make money off the gospel. And that's what they're doing. And that's what a lot of major churches are doing today. They're run like corporations instead of churches. This is what it says in Matthew 22:17-21. Tell us therefore, what do you think? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? In other words, these people are questioning Jesus. They're trying to trap him, because if he says don't pay your taxes, he could be killed for that. So is it lawful for us to pay tribute to Caesar or not? But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he said unto him, Whose image and inscription is this? And they said unto him, Caesar's. And he said unto them, then render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God. So in other words, Jesus is telling them right then and there, listen, you need to separate your finances from God. If you owe taxes, if you owe anything, go ahead and give Caesar what belongs to Caesar, but everything else belongs to God. Now I want you to notice one thing about this. When he showed me the tribute money, that was equal to about 1 U.S. penny. People, Jesus didn't even have a penny in his pocket. He didn't have a penny in his pocket. He had to ask the person asking the question to show him a piece of that money. He didn't even have any. Later on in Matthew 17:24-27, it says, and when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, does your master pay the tribute? He said, yes. And when he was coming into the house, Jesus stopped him and talked before he did and said, Simon, what do you think of the kings of the earth? Do they take custom of their own or of strangers? And Peter said, of strangers. And Jesus said, well then, so that we don't offend them, I want you to go down to the sea, cast in a hook, and the first fish you take up, open its mouth, and there'll be a piece of money in there. And go and pay our tribute, both yours and mine. Once again, Jesus didn't have the money to give him. Peter didn't have it either. So the Lord said, go down and cast a hook into the sea and you'll find some there. Jesus went to great lengths to teach his disciples about money and his lack of concern of it. Jesus wasn't concerned with money because he knew the Father would provide everything he needed. You know that you can't find any place in the Bible, I don't believe, I could be wrong, but I don't know of any place where Jesus ever handled money. He never handled money. Now I'm sure when he was a kid working in his dad's carpenter shop, he obviously took payment for what his dad did, and his mom probably gave him money to go to the store, whatever. But we don't see any place where Jesus handled money. Matter of fact, when Jesus hired someone to handle money for him, who was it? Judas, who betrayed him. The one who handled the finances turned out to be the betrayer. That's not by chance, people. So listen. Right now in America, we have fiat money. It's not real money. It's something the government prints. You know, it's just a note. It's called a Federal Reserve note. Now I've got some of these from the 30s, and they're actually called silver certificates. And way back then, nobody was going to take these. Nobody wanted these. They're nothing. They're just something the government started printing. So the government printed these. They're called silver certificates, and it says payable by silver on demand. So if you went up to the government and said, look, I want my silver, they would give it to you. So they said, they never did. But so anyway, this is all fiat currency. Now coins, on the other hand, silver coins and gold coins, those are real money. Doesn't matter where you go. This is real money, gold and silver coins. So listen, the United States fiat money is collapsing. The dollar is no longer the petrodollar. All these other countries have decided to say the heck with America. We're trading gold in our own money, and that's what they're doing. And so now all these trillions of U.S. printed dollars are going to be coming back to us, and all that's going to do is cause more inflation. Our money's going to be worth less. It's going to be terrible. But people, listen, our money, the United States petrodollar, is about to be replaced, and I got a feeling it's going to be replaced with something digital. That way they can tax everything. You can't so much as buy something from your friend and transfer that money to him without it being taxed. You have a yard sale. If the money's digital, they're going to track every penny and they're going to tax every penny. So listen, that's coming, and you need to be ready for it. And before that happens, the banks are going to close. So at least for a little while, from what I understand, if banks close, you can still spend cash. People, if you have money in the bank, listen, you need to get yourself a safe, and you need to bring part of that money home and not just leave it in the bank. Because if you got it at home, at least you can spend it for a while till it's no good. But America's fiat currency is about to be replaced. And I think it's going to be replaced by something digital. This is what it says. It says, "For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and remnant, let us therewith be content." People, when our financial system collapses, it's going to get very, very difficult between the collapse and when they establish some kind of new money. So remember your preps, keep stocking up on food, but if you have money in the bank, get a little bit of it out and get it in your house and get it in a safe place. That's part of prepping, is keeping some cash on hand, because there's no telling how long it's going to be good for. But even with the electricity going out, if something happened, our power grid went out, nobody can buy or sell. You can't do nothing. Cash is going to be the only way you can walk into the store and get something, if the cashier can even give you change with regular money. Most of them don't even know how to do that. So anyway, I just wanted to warn you, get ready, because the American dollar, our fiat dollar, is going to collapse. And we're going to go to a new money here real soon, and it's probably going to be digital. We'll have to wait and see. Anyhow, I just want to give you something to think about. Heaven or hell, you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.